Hello. Good morning, boss. I hope you're able to see the screen, right? In the last class, there was one doubt. One student has raised. Is he was saying when referential join can work only with analytical view, then obviously we'll have to create analytical view, right? Then when we're not able to create that with calculation view, we have to go with analytical view. He was asking me that, right? One second. System is disconnected. Yeah. In the last class, we had this doubt, right? We said referential join we could make it work only in analytical view. It was not working in the calculation view. We said so when we wanted that kind of join, we obviously go to analytical view only, right? So that's we had that problem. So after having the doubt, I was going through some notes, OSS note, and I could see this. Look at this. Look at this flexibility here. See now I've got orders and customers joined with what is this? A referential join. And then it's a normal calculation view, right? Activating this. Now in Sysbig schema, if I go to Sysbig schema and search for my view, ZCV inner, and then try to run a query, select sum of amount from this calculation view column view. So when I run this, it was giving me 400. It means it is performing join, which is like inner join only, because the referential join was recognized only by your OLAP engine. That was my problem, right? But we can still have the referential join worked out in calculation view with this option here. Look at this is your calculation view, right? In the calculation view, if you go to semantics, you see the columns here. There is a tab called view properties. In the view properties, there is a checkbox here, analytical view compatibility mode. So what I'm saying, I want this calculation view to be executed with compatibility mode, same like analytical view bus. We want this calculation view to be executed with same similar to compatibility of analytical view. Now, in this case, once we enable this checkbox, then referential join will start working out now. Now, if I run this query, if it is referential join, I should get the output as 500, right? You get 500. So by enabling this checkbox, the compatibility mode for analytical view, we can enable this calculation view to get executed with OLAP engine, and then you can have your referential join recognized there. That is an option you can work on. So whenever you want to model your data with referential join and can still be leveraging your calculation view by using this option, analytical view compatibility mode. Okay. And there is one more join, temporal join, which we could not achieve that in calculation view. I'm still searching for a node whether we can write a scripting based calculation view, that's fine, but I'm trying to still search for some node which we can solve it graphical. We'll see if I can find. I'll show it to you also. Okay. But referential can be fixed out, can be implemented in calculation view by making sure that your calculation be executed in analytical view compatibility mode. Okay. Good. And now, so now what I would like to do is I would like to create a view where we can analyze the sales first. I just want to go with complete scenario. I'm just opening up the Excel. So we'll go with complete scenario about providing modeling of views on sales. Well, we had sales and purchasing, but I'm focusing on sales first. So where my business users wanted to analyze it, analyze the sales data or analyze their customers, right? And the products, the sales data. Sales, they had item and header. So item data gives me the quantity and the amounts. So I would like to take it both, consider both. Okay. Let me go ahead with this. So what I'll do, I'll create one calc. So what we do, we can implement the entire logic in one calculation view itself. But preferably, what we do is we modularize the logic so that whenever we want to implement changes, it will be much easier. So what I'll do, I'll create one calculation view for customer. I'll create one calculation view product, and then I'll go about joining them with the sales data, and then build another view. Yeah. So let me say create new calculation view. This time I'm going with y customer. Yeah. Then standard graphical mode is fine. And since this is a dimension or master data view, so I'm going to have the data category as dimension. So okay, then I can make it more detailed. So first I would like to have projection of this table business partner. I would like to use this business partner table, but this business from this I just want only the columns partner ID, um, role, and then company name is fine. I don't need anything else. That's it. And I also would need this address ID when I want to join it to my address table. Right? Good. But if you remember, this table indicates business partner, but I'm looking at building a view which can give me only customers. So with the partner role, can I find out whether it's a customer or supplier, right? So I can right click, I will apply filter on partner role, where one indicates what? It's a customer. That's fine. Done. So when I apply filter only for one, this will start giving me only the partners of type customer only. Then, then I would like to take a projection of the addresses. Okay. I would say address ID, city, then country, region. That's fine. I don't need anything else. And there is also a field called address type. If you want, you can still apply filter, but I'm not. I'm okay with this. I don't need. Next, I would like to join these two objects, these two projections. Take both of them into this, and then I would like to join it based on the address ID. Then here I would like to consider the join projection, and then here I would like to go with the see. Even though my partner does not have the address ID, I still don't want to miss the partner, right? What was the question? Table A have one, two, three columns, and table B have four, five. How to pick up two and four? Yeah, basically when there is no connection, there's no point in joining the tables. Okay. So what I want is, even though this partner does not have address here, I just don't want to miss the partner. So then can I go with left outer here so that, and then I have joined it an address. So even if the partner does not have an address, this partner does not is not missed out. Okay. Left outer join, and then I go with the connect to the ultimate projection. So I'm not selected what I want. I wanted this partner. I don't need the partner role. I just want partner ID, company name, and the city, country, and region. That's fine. And then I want to select in the projection. I just select all this as output. The semantics I would get to see the dimensions here. Okay. In the view properties, it says it's a data category as dimension is all fine, and then that's it. Just activate. So I built a calculation view. which is giving me customer. So if I just see the content, I'll be able to see the customer data. Only the partner ID. See, I don't see the partner ID one because he's a supplier. Okay, so I get to see only the customers. Good. Now I would like to build one more calculation view, which indicates about product. Yeah. hmm Y product graphical. Again, it's a master data, so I say dimension graphical mode. So this time I would like to go with the projection of the table. This time I'm going to use the tables and the products, right? We have a table called products, which gives me product type and type of the product. I want to get the product category. And here it does not give me the, sorry, it does not give me the name and description, does not give the name, but does give me name ID, which I would like to use it to join to something else, description ID, fine. That's okay. I'm not worried about supplier now. Yeah. So this gives me the name ID and all those projected out. Done. Next, what I would do is, if you see this name ID, I just have the name ID, but I need to join this name ID to a different table to get the name of the product. Yeah. So what I'll do, that can be done. We can leverage this table text, which shows me whether it is in different languages. You get English or German. You get to see the descriptions of the product or whatever it is, right? So what I can do, mm, straight away I can go with the join, take this data, and then leverage the text table. If you remember, the text table is going to have different text ID. So based on this name ID, I'm going to join to the text ID here, and then get the description, which is your text here. Yeah. But I want this to be bringing out. It has got multiple languages, but I just want it to bit based on the login language bus. Yeah. Now what I'll do, create join. I would projection one, and then I've got text here. So I'm going to join the name ID to the text ID, but it should not get all the languages. It should get based on the login language. So I'll go with what? Text. See, internally, the logic of text join would be left out the join only. It gets all the products. And when it's getting the description from here, it does get you based on the login language. So what is the language column here? Need not be language column, need not be always language. There could be a column name as LANG or SPARS. It could be anything, but you got to specify the column which holds the language key here. Okay, this is my language. That's fine. And from here, now I get the product ID, type, category. I don't want this name ID, but I still want description ID. And this text, I can rename this text column. See, I can just select this column. Here you get to see properties of that column, but I want this name to be as product name. Product name. That's I can rename my column like that. Okay, done. So with this, I got. And next, I'd like to again join to the same text table to get the description of the product. So again, I'm going to go with another join where I take the results of this join, get in. So obviously, I'm going to use the same table text, which is going to give me descriptions also. But this time, I'm going to join with the columns. Description ID to the text ID to get the description of the product. Create join. Again, the join result to the text table. Description ID. This time, description to the text, and it's going to be a text join. And the language column is going to be language. So it's going to be left out a join, but join with the description ID specific to language column only. That's the text join. Now from here, I want product ID, type, category, then product name. From here, I want text, but this text is going to indicate as product description for me. Product description is fine. Okay, good. I want to connect this to the projection and then take in all these columns at all. That's fine for me. Then I'm okay with the dimensions. It's all fine. It's a data categories dimension. Okay, I'm not worried on this. Just activate. So I've got another view for product. Can we add a text join along with customer master in the same view? Yeah. I've showed the same example in product. Yeah, good. Okay. Now this is giving me product details. Why it is saying not? activated. Okay. Now I've got a view for customer and product. Now I would like to create one more calculation which gives me the fact information about the sales. Yeah. Now let me just right click and say create new calculation view. Hmm. So I'll say Y fact, not Y fact sales. Okay, good. This time I'm going with cube because it's going to have the measures. Okay, fine. So I can straight away use join. Don't have to use so many projections. So I'll just use the sales order header I've got and item I've got. Okay. So since header and item will give 100% referential integrity, what I want is I would like to join these two based on the sales order. So you remember whenever we guarantee 100% referential integrity, and if you don't want miss any records when you're selecting from only from one table, then I go with what? Referential join. Fine. Header. Okay. Then I'm going to join the sales order versus sales order. Or if you can even go with left order, but I'm okay with the referential now. Okay. Because every sales order in the header table will have corresponding entry in this table. So you'll never miss out whether you execute the join or not. It's fine. Yeah? A referential join. But when I'm using referential join, I should make sure in my view properties I enable it as what? Analytical view compatibility mode. Okay, good. From this, I want to take an partner ID, life cycle status, billing status, and delivery status. That's fine. From here, I would like to go with sales order ID, item, and what is the product ID. Then gross amount, net amount, tax amount, and there, this is the currency column for these amounts. Then I would like to take the quantity, and this is unit of measure of this quantity. Okay, I'm okay with this. Okay, that's it. Now, but what I want is, if you look at this if you look at this life cycle status or billing status or delivery status, it's going to have the indicators like this. If you see right click, or you can right click on this table and say data preview. I can see the date of a table also from there. Just it's X N P I D something, right? But we don't know the descriptions of this. So there is another table which is actually giving me those description of the constants, right? There is a table called constants, which is actually giving me all this. First, let's go with the domain which I should use. So this what is that you wanted? This is your billing. What is this? First one is your life cycle status (LC). This is your LC, which tells you life cycle status. Now let me see what does your life cycle status data hold. Life cycle, or you can see the distinct values in the view. I can say life cycle status. You got CNPX. So if you go to constants, I get to see CNPX. Okay, and this is in multiple languages. So I need to filter this for this domain first. So what I'll do, I'll take a projection of this table constants, and first let me filter for this domain. What is it? What is this? ZSOLC lives. Oh, so it does filter me only for the data, only for that domain. Then I can go about joining it. Then I take this node, take this projection to this. Sorry, this projection I've not selected this fixed value, language, and then description. Now go to the join. Here I can join this with the life cycle status. Where is my life cycle status? To the fixed value. I already filtered my domain only for life cycle status. I can go from here also. I want this as what join type as text join, and what is the language column is going to be language. That's it. Now I'm going to have this partner ID. I don't want this key. Okay, building status, delivery status, order. I can just select all of them from here. If using shift, I can just select everything and say add output. From here, I'm going to get the description, and this description is going to be actual life cycle status. Okay. Mm. So next, I need to get the similar way. I need to get the description for billing status also. Then again, I'm going to use projection because I need to filter for a different domain now. Let me take this constant. Now this time, I just want to see. mm so billing status is going to have I and P. Let's see this table, constants table for billing. Which domain should I use? D underscore S1 underscore CF is a domain which gives me I and P. So what I'll do, I'll first filter this for the domain SO, what was it, CF? Okay, that's it. Then I want fixed value language description. Then again further join this. Take the result of this join node and then join with this projection. Then get in. Then I need to join this with the billing status to my fixed value. It's going to be a what? Since I'm bringing the description, it's going to be text join, and you want to say language column here. Okay. I select partner ID. I don't want billing status field because I'll get the description of it. So I take this description, which I'll rename it as billing status. Okay, done. No, that is not this option of compatible is not available 1.0, only from 2. Okay, and then again still I need to get with the delivery status also. Take one more projection of the same table constants. Just into this projection. So get this. So I want to see uh, what is this delivery status has got I and D. If you see the domain about delivery, I've got something S D S O O R I and D, which indicates I indicates initial and D indicates delivered. So I'm going to use this domain now. Apply filter, then it's going to be D S O O R. Okay, then select this columns what I want. Okay, then I'm going to use a join to get the join these two, get the result of this join, then get the result of this projection, get in, then go about joining with, you can create a text join, take this. So I'm going to do a text join on delivery status to the fixed value. See, the column name could be different, but it's about data element being same, and the join type is text join, and the text language column is your language. So based on the login language, it takes it. So I don't want this delivery status key. I want to take this description alone, which I would. This is your delivery status. Yeah, yeah. That's and take the result of this. Not this SQL. We can say XML code. Now in the aggregation, now, all the measures have to be aggregated. So I want to say, I want based on the field I drill down. I want my key figures to be performed with sum. Okay. So one gross amount, net tax amount. Then with control, I'm just selecting all the key figures. Then I'm because 1, 2 tells you which key there is add as aggregated columns. The rest all will be your normal characteristics or attributes for you. So right click, add to output. Fine, done, and then we get to see semantics. Propose all the columns. So these all are your dimensions and these are your measures. You're able to use measure because your data category is cube. I'm using referential join, so I made it as analytical view compatibility. Then auto adjust the layout. You click this to adjust the layout, and that's it about my. This is just giving me the sales. Yeah? Don't worry on all this now. So I've got three calculations. One with the customer, one with the product, and one is for the sales. So customer and product were about data category dimensions, and this is was about fact. Now I would like to join this. I would like to create one calculation where I can combine all these three and enable it for reporting. So I'll say Y sales, Y REP sales. I'll say this will be enabled for
Okay.
sales for complete reporting. Then I'll, I'll go with the cube now. Data category is cube. Fine. So what I'll do, that's where the default node is this. So I'm going to first get the join where I would join my sales with the partner customer. Okay. So I'm going to, you can drag and drop your calculation views here. First take the fact sales view and the customer view. So I've taken both the calculation views here and I'm going to join them. I'm going to say, I'm going to join this with the partner ID. I would go with left outer join. Okay. Then I just select all this, I'll select all these columns, but I'll not select partner ID. I just want company name would be my partner. So I don't need the key. If you want, you can just still take the key also. That's okay. But I don't need that. Company name, city, country, and region. That's fine. And then from the result of this join, I would like to join one more table on the product to get the product details. So I already created a calculation view which is giving me the product, right? So drag and drop your product. So I'm able to use tables and calculation views into this, right? Now join product ID to product. Again, I'm going to say this as a left order join. So irrespective of the product, I must not miss any record from this. Okay. So I would not select the product. I don't need the unique ID because business will not understand that. I just want only the type code, category, product name, and product description. That's it. And then take this result. Now I'm ready with all the view what I want. The complete aggregation. Then specify the aggregation for your measures. I'll say some add aggregated columns where the aggregation function is what sum here or okay. I'm okay. And all these are attributes. I just want to add it as to output. So it will perform the sum on this depending on the drill down in the report. I'm okay. Auto assign. These are your dimension attributes. Those are your measures. Then I've got the view properties, which is cube. I'm okay. If you still have some referential, I can use this option and then activate. So I'm going to enable this cube for reporting. This is one option. So if you remember, if you take, I've taken the fact sales, joined with customer here, then I've joined with product. This is one way of doing it, reporting sales. I can also do the other way by using, I can also implement the same concept by using the star join also. Now let's see this. So say YREP sale star. Okay. So I'll say cube. I'll say with star join. Okay. I'll say with star join. I'll take the fact sales as my data foundation or main facts. Then I need all the columns from this at output. Then connect this facts to my star join. So at the center you have the facts. Then I would like to add in my dimensions, two calculation with the dimensions y customer calculation is one dimension for me. And another dimension I want y prod. That's y product, right? It's taking time, so it's taking time. So I'm just straight away drag and drop. It's y product. So I can get in multiple dimensions. Now I've got customer and I've got product. Like this, I can bring in multiple dimensions, and this projection will be your fact table, and I've got dimensions which is available now. So like this, I can bring in multiple dimensions, which forms like a star join. Now I can join this partner table to partner ID column to partner ID. Okay, I'm okay with referential, or I can just go to this join. Your projection is on this. So irrespective of that, I don't want to miss any of the facts, even if it doesn't have master. So I'm going with left order. Or you can go with referential and say enable it for this. Then I want this product ID to be joined with this product ID from this dimension. Referential, it's fine. That's it. It takes the columns from all the columns from this customer and all the columns from the product. And I don't have any columns still selected from this. From this, I just want to select all these key figures at output, and then I want to sales order ID, and then at output. That's it. Now, if you go to semantics, you'll start getting to see it here. See, all these are the like dimensions or attributes which are getting from your the foundation, nothing but the projection of your facts, and these are your fields which are coming from your dimensions. All the with a product dimension or partner dimension. Like this, also you can build your star join also when you want to join your facts to multiple dimensions. Yeah, you go with star join when you want to build a scenario like with facts joining to multiple dimensions like this. Okay. Because in a join node, you can only join two nodes, but if you want to join implement a star schema like this, you can go with this. And then I said referential, so I'm going with apply analytic compatible to view for analytic, and then okay, and then stack to it. And if you see these measures, by default it takes aggregation function here. In the even you can see it here. Aggregation function is sum. Okay. So both this you can leverage reporting on both of these views. We can do reporting on reporting sales or reporting uh, star bus. Okay, good. Now let me just create one simple report on Design Studio. They still not upgraded. This is 1.6. Now latest is 2, right? Lumira 2. Now it is 1.6. That's fine. Not much difference. Not much difference with the Design Studio. Can we include star join into another star join? No, it not makes sense. Okay. I just want to create simple report just to make you understand what is so that we can keep changing that view as per the requirements. So create new application. I'm making sure that it is running on the BA platform preferences. It is running on the BA platform. So it is connect this client tool is connected to BA BO server. Okay. New application. I'm okay with blank. Then I'll say something. A blank view is fine. Create. So I'm going to create a data source, which is my view. Right click, add data source. First, I'll have to choose because we already, if you remember, we already created a connection for HANA in OLAP connection in my CMC. So I'm going to use this connection, my HANA. Okay. It starts showing me all the views. If you remember, mine is CubeX, right? 11 OQ. I see this. This one, I just take this first one, YREP sales. Fine. You can rename this by default. This view is represented with alias name as DS1 data source. Okay, that's fine. Then when I go to edit initial view, so I get to see gross amount, net amount, tax amount, quantity, all the measures by default. Now I can just bring in some column region. If you don't want this results, I can say total display height totals. I'm okay with this. So what I want is I want to see a cross tab and all this stuff. I'll slightly organize this. I think that we can do later. I just want normal cross tab. Okay, let me just do that. See, to organize this layout, um, what we can do is I just want to take the complete organize and design my dashboard. So what I'll do, I'll take some grid layouts, container layouts. I'll take a panel. First, I'll take complete body as one panel. So I want to expand it to complete. So top margin, it has to go to 0. I'll say it has to cover the complete view. Left margin, it has to be 0, not 155. So 0. And then I'd say right margin as 0 was, and this as 0. It's width and height auto, 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 auto. So top margin it has to be 0 for me, and then left margin it has to be 0. So it takes a complete body. So now this will give me the complete. I just taken one frame on the complete body was. Now what I want is just for you to understand that there is some panel in the back end. What I want is I just want to put some color. I can use my CSS. We can use CSS in Design Studio or JavaScripting, CSS, and all these components that becomes your Design Studio here. I can just say I don't know how to write CSS, but if you just go to Google and say CSS, you'll have tutorials. You can just get into this. CSS backgrounds, I can just get in how to get background color. So I can just take this way background color equal light blue or something. I can just take this out and go to your Design Studio. See for this panel, you'll see properties and CSS class or CSS style. You can just get in. You can just take this out and put in semicolon light blue. So it is taken as light blue, but for మనకంత అర్థం కాదు. So I'll say green. That will be like framework. Okay. So this is my complete panel wherever it is. Okay. Now I want to see one more panel at the top which can give me description. So below this panel you can say inside that panel I want one component. So I can just drag and drop here, or I can say right click on this, create panel inside container layout, which is again a panel. So this first to the I want the panel with 40 height, which will be a title. So height would be of 40, and width is going to be auto. So it can go to a complete width. Let's say this is 0. Sorry, sir. Okay. This is going to be 0. Top margin it has to go to complete top. Width also is not 100. It's going to be auto. Right margin is 0. So this is my so this takes this panel here at the top. Just understand that there is some panel over there. I'm just putting some background style. I'll say white, so that panel shows white. So that is another block at the top. So I've got big panel which is for body, and then I've got another panel at the top for the header. That is fine. Then I'll take another panel which is for the body. Now right click again, create another panel which indicates about the body below. So already I've got one panel at the top which is of height 40. Now I want panel 3 to start after that. So I'll say the top margin should be 41, so that it starts from after 41. So the top margin it starts giving us 41, so it starts after the sub panel, and then height and width is auto. It takes a complete size, and right margin will be 0. It has to go to complete right. The bottom margin is 0. So it's going to be 41 with this, and then you can take this. Just to understand that that's a different panel where it is located. For something. So I've got P. Now if you see, this is the complete frame bus. I've got complete frame at the top. So I don't see that panel green because these two panels are embedded on top of that panel, right? Is everyone able to hear me, boss? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we are able to hear. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So like I've got organized the panels like this, and the first panel I just want to see some report title. So on the panel 2, I'll say I can use a component like say basic component. I can use something like text field where I just want to organize. Okay, that's fine. And left margin is 0. And height I want it as only because my parallel is 40, right? This also should be 40, so it should be within that. So sorry, this is width. Width should be auto, but height I want it as max 40, and then right margin 0, I don't mind. It should be completely covered. And the text, what I want is, let's say, sales sales dashboard. Okay, done. And if I want that to be coming a center, I can give some left margin. Left margin, let's say some 100. So it come. Sorry, I give it a stop. Left margin, I can give it as 100. So it gives some margin, then comes to the center. Okay, that's okay. Again, you can use CSS style, make it bold, all those stuff you can do. Okay, that's okay. Now in the body, I want to have two things. One is I want to have the navigation block, and I would like to see the cross tab so that I can slice and dice my table. So what I'll do, so I want to organize two components. So I can use some container called like grid layout, which will help me to organize. Now I'll want to make, see, grid is inside this panel. So I want to take this to the panel size. So I'll say top margin is okay, is 0 because it has start from the complete inner panel. Okay, bottom margin width and height is okay. Bottom margin 0, and the right margin 0. So it basically this grid layout covers a complete panel 3. Okay, because this is, I've just taken it as top margin 0 because this grid layout is inside this panel. So it takes margin of panel 3 here. Okay, fine. Now what I vertically see, I want navigation block to the left and the cross tab to the right. Vertically, I want to have two splits, right? So I'll say that is, will that be rows or columns? It will be columns. What I want two columns. Proportionately, it equally divides two of them. Like it divides half, right? But I don't do that because the navigation block will only take the lesser size when compared to this. So I'll say width is 1, and here I'll say 4. Means like 1 is to 4. So it takes 20% of this. It totally divides 5 parts, and one part will be column 1, and the other 4 parts will be column 2. I'm fine with that. Then, so that's where it creates two cells. This is the first part, the second part, and the first part cell I would like to have the navigation block. Create basic analytical components, and then I would say I want a filter navigation panel. So navigation panel is going to be inside this. Don't worry, we'll just say 0, 0. Width should be auto. Takes the complete size of within that cell. Okay, so 0, and then don't worry on this 0. So now what happens? This will get fitted within that block. If I feel this is a bit small, we can adjust it later. Okay. In the next cell, I would like to have see the cross tab. Cross tab, and I want this cross tab to be adjusted with the size and width. Okay. Top margin 0, 0. Width should be auto. Make height also as auto. So let it take the complete size within the block where I am, and margin 0. So that takes complete size of the table. That's fine. Then for these components, I need to assign the data source. Now navigation block, select this navigation block. Data source is going to be DS1. Select cross tab. I'm going to say data source is going to be data source 1 first. I selected my comp assign. Then let's just save. I can execute locally or I can execute from here. Let me execute it from save as. You remember we had this cubex, right? So it is getting saved in this cubex folder. Fine. Now end users can start running this from the BO server, right? GNS, yeah. BI would be my launchpad. Welcome 1 to 3, done. So I go to public folders, then cubex. I see this Y sales. So we are able to run this in the BO server because once the BO server is installed, we have to install the Design Studio add-on. So in the to have your design studio application saved to your BO server and it got executed, you must have the BO server design studio server installed in your BO server. Good. I can use this navigation block. Now I've got region. Now I would like to remove this region out. Now I would like to go drill down on the country. Don't want this. Then I want to go with city. Yeah. Okay. I want to go with the product category. Style thing. I want by based on the product category, I get to see this amount. So I want to see with region. I want to see with the country also. So I can see this. Okay. I don't want this results here. So totals, it's a high totals. I just want to see only the overall total. So it's a total and so I hide the total. You can just see only the. So you can basically have this simple report that should be fine. Now this is how you can basically design this in design. Now can I do filtering on this here like country. Am I getting this option as filter members? So I just want to filter only for mm, China and Canada. That should be fine. And then I can apply filters, or I can say remove, select all members. So I can do slice and dice. And this is what basic kind of reporting what we are wanted to build. This. I'm okay. This is enough for now. Okay. So where we have navigation block, where we have the cross tab, and we're able to see simple reporting done on the design studios. Okay. Now I want to have a now let's say we have some small improvements to be done. If you see this first one, I see this gross amount, net amount, and tax amount. These are amounts, right? It is showing as 86,515. But what is this 86,515? Is it INR or is it what? Is it dollars or what? Does it not make sense for me, right? If you look at BW, I don't. You would see that formatted key figure with say amount with currencies, right? Yeah. So in that case, how do I? So now I have a currency column which actually tells me which currencies they belong to. I see this. There are some so out of this 86,000, there are with some different currencies here, right? Mexican, US. Instead of seeing this here, I would like to see that along with the value amounts. Yeah. Only for gross amount, let's do that. Okay, fine. So how do I associate my currency column with the amount figure? Same way with quantities, I have this unit of measure. There is a sales order unit which tells me what unit does it belong to. All everything is each piece, but I want to see it as formatted 26 pieces or 8 pieces. I want to see that unit of measure there. So how do I modify that? Now let's go to Y sales. How do I customize that? We have a concept called semantics, right? Which where you get to see the properties of the view. In the semantics, we can define the semantics. So when you said semantics, it's more defining more properties. So you understand semantics is defining more properties for the columns or making it more meaningful. Now I've got gross amount, right? I want this gross amount to be associated with the currency column, which is the where is this currency? This is a column. Okay, so what I do, I go to this, select this gross amount. I'll say semantic type. What semantic type is this going? This is going to be amount with currency code. Then immediately it asks me what is the currency column. My currency column is not fixed column. Which is it? What is it? Currency. This column is going to give me the currency for this key here. That's fine. That is enough. Don't worry on others. So like this, we can define more semantics for the keyword saying this is going to be amount with currency. Next, I've got quantity. I want to set this as quantity with unit. So I'll say semantics quantity with unit. And which unit? What is the column which is going to be unit of measure? Quantity unit. That's fine. And then activate. Now let's see this. Immediately, look at this. Immediately for gross amount, you start seeing star, and you see this EA, each piece at the top. Means it's getting the scaling factor at the top. You can say display scaling factor. We'll see. Okay, why it is showing this star? Because we cannot add like $1,000 plus 200 rupees, right? We cannot add. It should be in same currency. Only then we can add. Can we get public and suitable on the top of the similar? Yeah, you can do that. Okay. But to just understand that, since if I just bring in currency, then you'll see the values properly. It was showing star because it cannot add this. Look at this. These are of different currencies. It cannot add. Look at this. You can get the seeker amount with currency columns. Yeah. Like this, since all of them are with same measure EA, it is showing scaling at the top, each piece. But here the values are with different currencies. It's showing along with the values. Like this, we can associate. We can build semantics and make it key figures associated with the amount currencies or um, quantities. Okay, good. Now, yeah, we can do all this. I'll go. We'll cover all this now. So you're okay with this, right? How we're able to convert this currency column to associate more semantics to the currency column or quantity column. What are the currency you're talking about? Here only we can do this currency conversion. I will come to that. See here, there is an option where you can do currency conversion also. Yeah? We'll come to that. Hmm. And same way here you can do quantity conversion. Good. We'll see that. Mm, okay, next time. Okay, if you remember, I removed this product ID, right? But I want product ID also. Look at this. One point, one simple point, but that's not. So remove. Now I never selected product ID initially. Now I would like to select product. So it means I need to select product ID here, go to aggregation, select product ID here, from here, then semantics, right? Instead of doing so many steps, I can just right click on this product ID and say propagate to semantics. That automatically keeps adding everything to the sub above nodes. Product ID selected here, product ID selected here. Okay, was automatic gets in and then gets the dimension activate. Good. Now let me get to this. Okay, let me run this report. So do you get this? Do you get to see this product ID? Yes. Okay, good. Let me take out this region. Then I want this product ID into the rows. Now I get to see this product. This is actually the key of the product. And then I have something called the product name, right? I got product name, product name. Yeah, this is product name. So I've got two different columns, product ID and product name. That's two different columns. Product ID, product name is two different columns, right? But now what I want is when okay, let me take this out, product name. But if you remember in Bex, we used to have display as key and text. Now when I say product ID displays, it only gets me as display as key because it does not have any text. What I want, instead of having product name as a separate column, I would like to have the text description shown as per product ID. So what I can do, I can just go to here. So go to HANA. Then in the semantics, we can define this. For product ID, I see there is, I want to see there is something called label column. I want the label column to be product name. What I've done is I've maintained as product ID. For this product ID, I've defined the label column as product name. So product name will be the label column for this, okay, as a text column. Now let me go this. So now if when I go to this product ID, see, now instead of showing the key, it is just showing me the name. But if I want to see the name key, I can say show key. It will show the key. If I say display key and text, it will show both the product ID and the text, which is nothing but your name, will be shown as a label text. That's how, by using the label column, we can determine the text or text values for this, the key. So depend if I say I only display as text, it will show only text. Like this, we can associate a text column with the keys by using that label column in the semantics. So like this, we can also define more semantics for the columns like this. Okay. Okay. Next simple thing, what I want. Uh, What I want is when I see it is showing data for all, right? I want to change the initial view, not with the region. So I'll say right click, edit initial view. Initially it is getting with region, right? I want to see with customer. Okay, done. That I've changed it. But I have got one more requirement. If you remember, as soon as you run the query, you know about something like variables in Bex query or WebB in BO you look at prompts, right? So when I run the report, I would like to get a prompt where I can just choose the value what I want. Then it does show filter me data for that, right? So what we can do now, look at this. For that's where we can use something called parameters and variables. First, let me go with the variable. So drop down, I would say create a variable. I'll say region, or I'll say v underscore region. I want this to be with the attribute. Which one? This variable should be associated with which attribute bus region. There is no hierarchy. If you want, I can allow multiple entries and say mandatory selection type single values with multiple entries mandatory. That's fine, and it's going to be associated with the region. You can, if you want, you can also specify a default value. Okay, it's self-explanatory. If you see now, you will see that. Look at this. You will see region associated with the variable called v underscore region. Now let me activate this. So as soon as you get that, now let's see when we run this report, you get a variable screen. Look at this. You get a selection screen or you get a prompt. Okay. I said multiple entries, right? So value help. It is showing me AFR, AMR, Asia Pacific something. I just select only Asia Pacific and then get it done with it. So it is showing only the customers of Asia Pacific because if you get to see the region, you get to see only Asia Pacific. Like this, we can also have a variable. We can implement this logic by using variable also like this. Now let me show you one more. Apart from variable, I can also, but now I can't do. Uh, for doing now, now I cannot show you that. But there is also something called input parameter. We'll deal with later. But like this, you can also, when you want to filter the views or make the views dynamic, we can also go with input parameters or variables. We'll see what is the difference later. But there is an option this way. Okay. But even if I, let's say, there is an option where you can basically create hierarchies also. When you want to have level-based hierarchies or parent-child, you can create hierarchies also. Now, say if you say create hierarchies, I just want to create a customer hierarchy. I want to create customer hierarchy. See, you can go with level-based hierarchy or parent-child. I'm going with level. I got multiple levels. First, I have level as region. Then I have country. Then I have city. Then I have the uh, company name, which is not what your partner was. Okay, that's my hierarchy. Each one has got in different levels. That you can have advanced properties here. Don't worry much. Then I'll say root node visibility, yes, and then that's okay. Don't worry on this. And then this is how you can create hierarchy. But if you want to see that effect, it's activated. Now let's go and let's refresh it and see whether you're able to see the hierarchy here or not. So I've got company name. If I say select hierarchy, there is a custom hierarchy which we have built in. So select the custom hierarchy. I can get to see, I added a root node, so I get to see all. I get to see all, and then Asia Pacific. Then I get to see countries. Then under country, I get to see the region, sorry, city, and the city I get to see the company name. ఒకటే ఉంది. Uh, like this, we can also apply hierarchies on this. So what are the hierarchy you create in HANA view can be consumed directly like this with the Design Studio here. Clear on this? But see, by default you're getting all, right? Why you're getting this is a root node, okay? Because if you see this, there will be slightly properties which you can handle. There's a root node visible to add. So I'll say do not add any root node, okay? Then I say activate. Done. See, then refresh. So because the lower level is your company name, that's why you can activate hierarchy on this. Okay. Now select hierarchy. So okay, then you don't get to see any all here. Right, showing only Africa was all of them. Must have one root node. So because already if you have some single node at the top, then I can use. But I'll go with root node. Like this we can basically create parent child, but mostly it will be, don't worry about parent child. Like parent child is like employee to manager, manager having, so I've got a manager, manager has an employees below him, and this employee again will have some more employees below him, which could be the same person. So when you want to build that kind of hierarchy, we go with parent child. Very rare, don't worry, you understood about level based hierarchy here, where each level is one column of the view, region, country, city, and the bottom one with the company on which you are building the hierarchy company. Okay, like this you can also have hierarchies. We'll just take a small break for 5 minutes, then we'll continue first. Okay, is that fine? We'll see much more properties and options. I'm just pausing the video. We'll continue after 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yes.
So now we're going to deal with this input parameters and stored procedures. Sorry, input parameters and variables. So for that, I would like to create another view just to demonstrate in detail. Mm, why input and variable? It's a cube, fine. Um, I'm going to design entire logic here. I don't simple. Just taken sales. Straight away take. No, I'll let it go with projection so that I can apply filter later. So I want projection of sales header, sales order, then partner. That's it. Life billing and then this. Okay. Then I want one more projection for sales item. Okay. From the item I want sales order item, then product, and I want to go with currency, quantity, and unit. Then join these two. Take the item and the header. Sorry. Take the item and the header, and I would like to join them with the sales order. Go with referential join. When you use reference, make sure you enable this option. That's it, done. And from here I want all this, all the columns. From here I want all these columns. Okay, that's done. Then I would like to have a projection of my partner, business partner. For this I want partner ID, partner role, company name. That's done. I'm okay. Then I want one more projection on address. From address, I want address ID, city, country, and then region. And here I want address ID to join this. So then I would go joining these two. I'm building entire logic in a single view because I want to demonstrate the parameters and variables. From here I want partner ID, partner role, company name, then city, country, and then region. Then take a next join and join these to this one and this one to here. And then join with the partner. This is pretty much, water ID. And then I would like to take all this, and this from here I will just one part role and company name region add output. That's enough. I think this is okay to demonstrate variables and parameters. I'll aggregate this here. Add as aggregate columns, quantity as aggregate column, and whereas all other attributes will be output. Add as output. Rest all add as output. Yeah, done. Let's say arrange. Hmm. Then this data category is cube, so I can do reporting on this also. YIP where? Okay. Okay, boss. Done. Now I'll go to my design studio. I'll say save this as same. I don't want anything more. Say YIP where. Okay, done. I'm going to save this as this, but I'm going to change the data source. Everything remains same. I'm just going to change my data source here, where it will be a different view. I'm going to change my view. That's it. Everything is same. The template is a PQ. So mine is by IP, right? Should not come. So I need to refresh it. So reload all connections. Then my HANA connection. Then no subscript. YIP where now just reload and then it will refresh it. That's it. And then I just want to enable this change the default value. Not only with this, I just want to see company name also in this. That's fine. So this is my report. Let's go to this. Let's start running a new this one. Okay, good. I am fine. This is my report now. Now what I want to do is I would like to provide a selection screen. Instead of running data for all the regions, I just want to provide a selection screen to the user to select certain region. Then display the data only for that region, like prompt. I would like to provide a prompt on the region. So what I'll do now, when you want to provide a prompt for the user, like similar to variables in BEX or prompts in BO, I have two options. I can either go with the variable and I can go with I can 1 second. What is the join I've used here? Here I want to go with so inner. It only gets me. So it is an inner join, right? So only common values comes out. Okay, fine. And then this join also I want inner join, so it has to bring me sales order. I want to make it as inner join, fine, because it has to get me only the sales of region. Okay, good. Now first thing is I want to provide prompt, so I can have option of variables or prompt input parameter. Now let me first show you with variable. Now drop down and say create variable. And just say something v underscore region. Okay, this I'll come to this later. I'll come to this part later. Okay, region. And then this region is for this is a variable you're creating. This variable is defined on which attribute bus, which is a column on the region column. Fine. I don't have any hierarchy now. It's single node or interval or range. I would say a single value, but I want enable multiple entries, and I'm saying this is mandatory variable. You have to enter. If you want, you can provide some default value if required. Okay. I don't want any default value now. Just say okay. And if you see the columns, you can see that this region is been applied a filter on your region variable. Okay. So whatever the variable is value select, it applies filter on that region column. Yeah. Good. Now let me go to this and see. If you see execute this view and I give the region, So I select some. Can I go with multiple options, right? Because I said multiple entries allowed. So Asia Pacific. It just shows me only for Asia Pacific. This is variable. Okay. You saw this option. Now what is happening with variable is first it executes the view for all the regions. Then while displaying output to the user, it is just showing only for Asia Pacific. You all agree with this? See the view, it is reading data for all the regions. There is no filter here. Everything is manipulated. Then once you get the output for all the regions, then it filters out the view data based on the region what you select was. Getting what I'm saying? Let's concentrate here. If you look at the variable region, we are using this variable region for applying filtering on the view. So when is this filter getting applied? Once the entire view logic is executed, it is applying filter. It is taking means it is reading data address for all the regions, all the partners, then it is joining everything, then it is taking all the sales, then it is joining all the partners, all the sales. Then while displaying result, it is applying filter on the region was. Okay, based on the input what we have given. Fine, clear on this? Now I'll do in a different way. Now look at this difference here. I can cut this out. I'm deleted this variable. Now I'm going with input parameter. I can create input parameter here. So create input parameter. This is where I can create, or I can create anywhere. Now go to aggregation node. I have an option here. Input parameters. Right click new. I can get to this creating input anywhere. Okay, anywhere in the definition of the view, I have option of creating input. You can create it anywhere. There's no difference. Okay. Now what I do is now go apply on the input parameter. Now create input parameter. Hmm. Say IP underscore RE region. Um, when I say there is something like direct. Direct means you just find only a text box. There is no value help you find. You just have to enter it manually. Then I go with column so that you can choose. So you will get a. So when I choose a column, but when you say direct, let me just tell you what it is. Semantic type is not nothing. I'll say data type as varchar and 4. This is direct input parameter. Means you have to enter it. I'll tell you how is it. Don't worry on whether it's been applied or not. If I try to see it display, so it is not prompting parameter at all. Why? You have created this input parameter, but you have not applied. So what I do, I go to this, select the region, apply filter on region equal to, instead of fixing the values to Asia Pacific, see look at the AFR, AMER, APG. Remember APG, that's enough. Instead of fixing values, I can say input parameters. What is the parameter you already created? So it is taking the node as $IP region $. Okay. Now I applied filter on this input parameter. So you have to create input parameter and use it and apply the filter. Now when I try to see the content here, it asks me the region equal to what? There is no value help I'm getting because it is a direct, right? I have to enter it manually. APJ. There is no value help for me because it's a direct field, and then you get to see the result. So you get to see data only for region. If you see the region column, it shows only APJ. There are 757 records. So that can be applied here also. For example, if I go to my report, when I run the report, here you get input parameters. Could not refer due to current selections. 1 second. So when you change it here, make sure in the edit install view, so it says no data, right? So you have to feed some parameter values. There is a icon here, text show prompts. Application properties. There's merge prompts, force prompt to start up. Say I'll say true, and then say save. So to make sure you say force prompt, so you get the region. See, it does not have any value help here. It's because it is direct bus. I just say APJ, and then I have to execute. No value help because the input parameter type is direct bus. Okay. Now what I do is I just edit this input parameter, saying this is going to not be direct. It's going to be column. So as soon as I select column, we see there is something like value help here. value help view automatically considered. And what is the column reference? See, this is the value help view. From this view, which column values it has shown the value help? This is only for value help bus. This is only for value help. Okay. So this is a view, current view, the same view. From this same view, it has shown the value help from which column values? Region values. Okay. And it is already applied filter in this now. Okay. Same parameter. Now if I go here and say refresh and do the view, then you see you start getting this value help. Now what is this value help? Says current view and show the values, distinct values of the column region. Now if I say value help, see, use the search to get the results, because why it has to do, see there link up here, there is a link up here. Now what I'm saying is, if you look at the definition of the input parameter, I'm saying current view, value help should be the result of the current view. From the result of the current view, show me the distinct values of region in the value help. But the problem what is happening is, there is a cycle here. As long as I input this input parameter, it cannot execute the view. After executing the view only, it can give me the value help bus. So that is a problem here. When I take the current view itself as value help, first it has to execute that view completely. And from that view, it has to pick up the distinct values of region and show me as value help. But if it has to show me the value help here, it has to execute the view. But if it has to execute the view, and it needs an input value for the input pair. So there is a link up, there is a dependency here. So I don't want to use the current view here. What I do is, I create another calculation view explicitly, which is going to be used as value help. I'll say y value help region. This is going to be just a dimension, and then say finish. I don't want to do anything. Projection of the table addresses. That's it. And in fact, I only want to see regions, nothing else. So I created this view, which is just showing me the regions, distinct values of regions here. So it will show the regions, right? This is my data. See, it is showing me. It is okay. Let it show all values, no problem. But anyway, the value. So I'm just created view. It will just give me the regions, right? Activated. What is this? YVH region, right? Now go here. Now I'll edit this. I'll say the value view is not the current view. So YVH. So this view is going to be the used for value help. From this view, which column? Region column is going to be used as value help for me. Now let me activate. So now there is no dependency. That's a different view for value help now. Okay. Now refresh. Now when I run this, so when I do this value help, it is executing a view called value help region and display with regions now. Okay. I think I selected a single. That's why I'm able to select only one. This time AM here. AM here customer. But if I want to go with multiple, then I'll say edit. Make sure you say multiple entries here allowed. Be logical, okay? So don't have to worry. And so I say right click and view. So now so it executes this value help. Show me distinct values of that region. Did I select? Not refreshed. Something. Oh, error. There was an error. Why there's an error is, you said multiple entries, right? Now while applying filter here, I cannot say equal to. Equal to means single values. I should say in list, right? List of values. Then select the parameter. Because equal to means those takes only single values. In list and then activate. Then successful. Now let's go here. Okay. Say value help. It shows now you can select multiple and then do this. Like this, you can have a value help provided you have the input parameter with column based. So I can have input parameter created with type column. So that is a direct means without any value. Column means you can provide a value help derived from a listing. And there is option called derived from table also possible. What you want to do is, instead of someone inputting the value, I want to do a select on the table, and the result of the select should be taken as an input for my input parameter. I don't want the user to feed this input parameter. This input parameter should be taken derived from the table. So I'll say derived from table. I'll say address table sap dot hana dot demo uh, content dot epm dot data colon dot okay, let's say md. Okay. Then this is I take this address table. Return column is region. So it's like select region from this table. You can also specify where clause, where something like where address ID is something like some. I just select some address ID. So in this table, which of the address ID we have, that fills in that. Okay, let me see. In the address table for address 001, what is the region? For 001, what is the region was EMEA. So this parameter should take by default as EMEA now. So like this, I can also have input parameter which is reading it from a table also, derived from table, where input parameter is filled by derived. Okay. So as an user, I'm not feeding in. Failed to find EMEA at node projection. 1 second. EMEA. Region. EMEA. Hmm, what is the problem? Why I'm not finding this input parameter? It's a single value, right? Failed to find EMEA projection node. It's taking a smaller letter. Please take failed to find EMEA at node projection. But EMEA, we have EMEA data, right? Or let me just take in some different address where it takes EMER. So 002. So I'll say input parameter. I'll change this, not where address ID is 002. Okay. It's input enabled so that users can see that what it is getting. Yeah, EMER is fine. Now you should see the data properly. Okay, that was with some problem with field value. Don't worry. Now let's see. I enabled for input enabled so that you, even though it is filled from the select statement, users can still see that value, what's happening. So AMER is fine. It is getting derived from the table automatically. Like this, we can also have input parameter where we are just deriving it from the table, from the select statement. See, input enables you start getting to see projected for the users. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, it just runs like that. If I just remove this, and you don't get to see that straight away transfer AM here. No input enable. Users don't get to see that input at all. Okay, selection screen. That is one option. They can also have static list. Okay, instead of reading from some column or some table, I can just give a static list region. Okay, I want to enable multiple entries. Data type is varchar and 4. I can just give the list of values what I want. APJ, APJ. I can go with giving static list. What was it? AMER. Okay. AMER. So I can just go with typing a static list here also. I can give some default. I'm okay with two things and then activate. So you're going to get input parameter with static list of values. No value help here. Value help is going to be static list with this only these two. Why it is single? I have not enabled multiple entries here. I've enabled, right? Okay. And that is because, and it is also with, see, list of values. Why? Why not multiple? And but I can just choose one and then like this you can have input panel with static value list also. Yes. Okay. We'll before we get into this, there's something called input panel stored procedure. We'll see that. But now look at you tell me whatever I'm able to achieve with variable, I am able to achieve with input parameter also, right? Pretty much. But variable may not have that like static list or derived from table or with procedure, but still, let's say if it is normal manual input, do you see variable and input parameter both the same or do you see some difference here? Anyone? I'm unmuting you all. Someone, if you feel, hmm. I've unmuted, boss. Do you see any difference between variable and input parameter here, or do you see both the same? Forget about the options of filling with select, reading from table or with the static list. Apart from this, conceptually, do you see both as same variable and input parameters, or do you see some difference? Anyone?
Input parameter, the user can input.
Input parameter?
The user can select their own input parameter.
Yeah, even in variable is
Or
able to select, right? Even the first example when I showed about variable, even variable is able to select, right?
Mhm.
Even in
Okay.
variable also, user is able to get the selection screen input like prompt and is able to select a value. Then what is the difference now? Now when you're able to achieve both with variable and input parameter, which one would you obviously choose?
Input parameter.
Input
Because there
parameter.
are
Why? Why input parameter? Why not variable?
A variable is executing the result set of the view.
Yeah,
Means input parameter executing on the database level only. Means before view
yeah,
only,
yeah.
the whatever you are giving, based on that input only, the result set is coming
Exactly,
from the
exactly.
database.
So when I use input parameter, that would be more. The view would be, the performance of the view is better in case of input parameter than a variable because when I use variable, irrespective of the region, it executes the logic for all the regions. Then before projecting the result set to the reporting, then the filtering is done with the variable. But when it comes to input parameter, first the filter at the bottom of the data, the projection itself, the filtering is applied at this point. Then once filter is applied for the region, then only for the addresses of that region only the logic is executed. So we are reducing the number of records on which this join should get executed, right? Entire logic will get executed. So when you apply filtering at the bottom, reduce the records on which the logic of the view should get executed. Obviously, the performance of the view is a lot better. So we'll prefer input parameters over variables. That's the okay. Fine. There's one more option with input parameter where I can go with the with creating with the stored procedure. So I can also write a stored procedure and use it in means if you remember in Bex in BW we have Bex with I step 2 where you write your ABAP code and fill it with the customer exit. Same way, okay, like nothing but you want an input parameter where you want to execute some logic and fill that. Okay, So what I can do, I can write an input parameter derived with the stored procedure. Means with scripting, I can write a SQL script and derive the value for your input parameter. Now let's see what I do is this time I want it for country. I'm deleting this input parameter. So remove this filter. Now I want it for country bus. So what I've done is so I have a schema called let's create one input stored procedure. Don't worry about the logic, just a concept. So I've got cubic schema. I already have some table here. LMN. I have a table called input parameter here. I have this table DE US and then there's something called region. Okay, DE US Japanese and there's two columns. This okay. So I'm going to write a procedure which will read data country from this and return out. And the what are the country the procedure is returning out will be filled into my input parameter. So what I'll do, I'm going to create that procedure here. So I know you may not be really good at writing scripting, but fine. That's if you are logical, that should be more than enough. Okay. So I'm just trying to select first this test what is there we have in this table, input parameter table. So I've got this country column and the column region. Okay, good. So now what is the logic is I'm just trying to create a procedure. I say create a procedure and this is the name of the stored procedure. And this procedure is going to return out because it's like similar to your function returning out some parameters. I've got returning it out as result underscore country, okay, which is a string. I'm saying language is SQL script, security who is invoking it. It is just reading the data from a SQL. It's not doing any instructions. So I'm saying I want a variable as it's just like I want a variable v underscore country of type string. Then I've got a variable called v underscore region, which is of type string. I'm assigning a constant value as AMER now. Then I'm saying I'm using cursor. I'm just saying select country from this table where my region is v underscore region parameter. What is this v underscore region parameter? AMER. So when it reads this table, when you read the country where the region is AMER, it is going to return as US. And what is it is returning as US? I would like to put that into a variable called v underscore country, which I just created. And whatever I have in this variable v underscore country, I'm returning it back, assigning it back to result underscore country, which is being returned out. Look at this. What is written out variable? Result underscore country will be written out. And this is going to go and update my input parameter. Simple. That's it. So I'll just take this procedure and then execute, create. So I have my procedure created. I can see that in the schema here. I can go to stored procedures. So I have this procedure input parameter is created here. Okay, good. And for now, if you just call this procedure and test what it is going to give me, it is going to give me return me as US. Now this US will go and fill my input parameter bus. So before I do this, I must make sure the sysrepo user should have access to this procedure bus. So I'll say grant executing on this procedure to sysrepo. Okay, done. I've granted it already. Done. Now I will use this procedure here in the input parameter. Now I'll go here, create input parameter, IP underscore country. I'll say with the stored procedure. What is my stored procedure? If you remember, this is a procedure input parameter pro c dur procedure input input. So this is my procedure input parameter. This is a procedure which I need to, which is created in the cubic schema. I want it as this. Even though it is being filled from procedure, if you still want it input enabled means what? Even though it is filled, it's like I step one. Even though it is filled from procedure, I just want to see it by the user as input parameter. Enabling the checkbox will allow only mapping of parameters of those source procedure to the constants, and we'll remove all other existing mapping to this procedure. Okay, yes. Okay. Then once it is created, I like apply filter on this country. Country equal to input parameter $$ IP country. Activate. Done. Now if I go in, I will get to see input enabled, but I see that getting filled with US. See it by so my I am in internal when I run this, I have an input parameter which is getting filled with the stored procedure as and returning as US, and then it shows me data only for US here. If I go to country and see, it just shows me only US data. Like this, we can also have an input parameter filled with stored procedure also, but variable you don't have that option. So this is about input parameter and variables, and there's much more option, one more flexibility onto this. Now, this was a simple view, and you're able to apply filtering is all fine now. Good. Now let me see a next case. There's something called mapping of input parameters. Very, very important concept, because whenever you modularize views, you always try to play with this. Now, this is the view I was using, reporting sales. Very, very important. Understand this, boss. Understand this. Very, very important. Very simple if you're not getting confused. Yeah, where input point is more preferable. Is there any case where we go for a variable where we cannot touch? I feel generally it is all input parameters. Okay. Okay. Now look at this. I have this view while reporting sales. Okay. In the previous case, I was having all my tables in the same definition, so I was able to apply filter directly here, right? But if you look at the other case here, this is a view which I actually modularized and built, reused those views and created this input calculation view, right? Same way, now I would like to create input parameter on regions. Okay, good. Now go to parameters. What I look at this, trying to say create input parameter IP underscore region something, and then okay, direct. I'm okay with the column something. From the current view, it says region, or I can use this value help, right? I've got Y VH. I can use this as value help, and then from this it has read region. Okay, done. I've created so after if it has to be worked out, I must go and apply filter, right? I'll go to something like customer region. See, can I apply filter? Because this is joined, right? I can't apply filter here. I can't apply filter bus, right? So look at this. So I'm deleting this input parameter here. No more input parameter. I cannot create input parameter here because I cannot apply filter on that. So what I'm doing now, look at this. There is a view called Y customer which is used here in my main view. So I'm going into Y customer view. Concentrate bus, very simple but little bit tricky. I have a view Y customer which is used into my main view. So first I'm going into Y customer view. Here in this view I'm creating an input parameter. Create input parameter IP underscore reg. Okay. Let me just say column, fine, and then y vh value help I'm going to use. From this value help column is region, that's fine. And then I'll go to this HANA demo content address table, and I'll apply filter here because I've got table source table projection, so I can apply filter here equal to input parameter which is region. Done. Concentrate now. I have this for this Y customer view. I've defined an input parameter bus, right? When I run this view, it will ask me for input parameter where I can just select some EMEA and then okay. Then it show me customers for EMEA, right? It is left out then, so it shows other customers also, but you don't get to see this address details. That's fine for me. That is okay, right? Now, now this Y customer which has got input parameter, I've got a view Y customer which has got input parameter is used in another view, right? Now, if I try to run this query, see, you're not getting any country, city, not even one. See, are you getting any city, country, at least AMU or Asia Pacific? It is not popping up at all. It is not asking me which region you want, right? It is not asking me which region. There's no input parameter what I'm getting here. Why? Input parameter is defined in this view Y customer, and this Y customer is used in Y REP sales, but that is not popping up the input parameter, right? Why? So in that case, what we do is, even in the main view, I go about creating input parameter with the same name. What was the name here? IPREG, right? Look at this. How do I do this? Create another input parameter, same name in my main view also, YIPREG, column, value help is YVH, value help, and then I would say reference is region column, fine. And what now what I need to do is, when I run this view, did I apply any filter here? No, right? I did not apply filter on this region. What I want is, whatever the IP region I have got, what are the value I've given, I must pass this value of this parameter to the value in input parameter in this Y customer bus. So what we do is, just click on this date. You can just click on this mapping of input parameters, input parameter mapping, say data sources. Sorry, or you can say, just click on this values for a help for attributes. Why I'm not getting? Is it not IP region? IP region. One second, boss. I'm not getting. Okay, okay. The problem, I'll tell you what it is. I activated this, right? Is it active? Okay. Now you should get this. Now click on this input, but one second. Even after active, it is not refreshing. I'll say YREP sales now. Reopen it, so I should find it. Now go to this parameters table. Now you should see. Now look at this. Now I see. Now I need to do mapping. See, in my current view, I have IP region that has to be mapped to this. So what I'll do, in the current view also, I'll have input parameter. I'll take the input and pass it to the input parameter which is in my view of Y customer. So I'll say map it. So what I'll do, in my current view, I'll have input parameter Y IP region. I'll take the input and pass this input to my Y customer view, which has got again input parameter map. That is called, then the view get executed. That is called mapping of input parameter. Now execute. If I run, so you get input parameter here. If I select Asia Pacific, now this Asia Pacific will be passed on to input parameter which is in Y customer, then execute that, then you get, you get able to get the results for, look at this, you select Asia Pacific, so you're able to see the region values for Asia Pacific alone. Like this, we have a concept called mapping of input parameters. So in the main view, you'll have input parameter which takes in the value and passes that value to an input parameter which is used in the view inside it, reusable views, and then you pass the input parameter. That is called as mapping of input parameters. Any confusion here? We call them as mapping of input parameters. Okay, good. So this is what I wanted to touch on: input parameters and variables. Okay, good. Next, what I want is, I would like to go with YRP sales, not to get confused. Okay, this one. Let's get into this. Delete it completely. Remove the field. Done. Fine, boss. Next, I would like to get into a concept called calculate columns. Like in BW BigSquare, how do you have like calculate key figures? Or in BO universe IDT, how can you create a new derived columns? Okay. In same way, even in HANA, I can go with creating new calculate columns. For example, say anywhere, like in the projection, I can create my calculate column here, say a new calculate column. Or even in the join, I can say new calculate column. Okay. Or in the aggregation, I can say new calculate column. Okay. Okay. I'll come to that counter later. Simple. I have a simple requirement. I've got my quantity and I've got my gross amount. So I would like to get the average selling price or net price. Okay. Okay. So I'll get to see that as gross amount divided by quantity. So how do I do this? Calculate columns. Right click, say new calculate column. I'll say average selling price. Date type is going to be a decimal because it's a numeric, right? So I'll say 13 of 3 decimals. So whether this column type is in whatever you're creating, is it attribute or measure bus? It's going to be a measure. And let's say the formula is what? I see in the calculation I can use calculate. I can use the columns what is selected, or calculate columns into calculate columns, or restrict columns into calculate columns. I can also use input parameters also. I'll show you that. Now for now it's gross amount divided by quantity. For each, so for each row, it will basically perform this division gross amount divided by quantity, and then say okay. That's it. Now if you go to semantics, you will start seeing in the columns the average selling price. Okay, aggregation is basically as per the formula what we've done. Then activate. Then if I go to my reporting, see, you start seeing it as average selling price. What was my logic? Gross amount divided by quantity, right? What was 77,359? Say, so what was my calculate column? It was 77,359.96 divided by 316. So it is giving us 244.81, right? Okay, now let's remove this company name from the drill down and let's drill down on the region. Let's look at the calculator. That was fine. That was correct. Now next one. What is this? Gross amount is 86,515.09 divided by 314. So it is giving 275. So what is happening now? If you see, first of all, it is aggregating the gross amount based on this region. So whatever you do drill down, it is aggregating the gross amount, then it is aggregating the quantity, then performing the division. So aggregation first, aggregation of gross amount and quantity is happening, then the calculation is getting performed, not at the each individual row level. So you can control that whether the aggregation should be done. Here, if you see this in the calculate columns, you can see enable client side aggregation. It should, so you can say what aggregation should be done. So should that aggregation be happening after the calculation or before calculation? You can use this option to control. Okay. You can say client side aggregation as sum. Now instead of seeing formula, you get to see it as it will start working with some aggregation function. Okay. You can control how the aggregation function should happen. Even now you still get to see the same. That's fine. Means whether the aggregation should happen or not, you can control it. That's okay. Now I just want, sometimes if the quantity is 0, it is going to go for infinity, right? We're going to get division by 0 error. So I can just implement some simple if condition. Lots of functions here. You can say such if, and then see, you see a miscellaneous if condition. So I can just say if condition do and false, right? So say if if what I'd say, if quantity is equal to 0 and 0, else do this and close this one. And say validation check is fine, and then you can also implement if conditions like this, and then you calculate. That should be fine. Okay, like this you can build in. And next, I want to have one more calculate column as tax amount. How much is my I would let calculate tax on my gross amount and just assume this is not there, but I want to derive tax amount on this. So I'll say create new calculate column, tax amount. Say new. It's going to be a decimal, yeah. And it's going to be a measure. then I would say, how do I get this is gross amount, and I will just derive some percentage. Say gross amount into, let's say my percentage is 15. Uh, then so get the 15 percentage of this, or 0.15 is also fine. And I will say 0.15 into 0.15. This should give me 15% on this. That's my tax sum. Okay. Again, it's a semantics. You get to see tax sum only active. If I go down, what is any option like no dim? There's no dim bus. Okay. You have to take that. See why you don't have no dim is only when you do semantics for that key figure, then only you get to see the currents. Otherwise, you don't get, right. So don't define semantics when you want as no dim. Yeah. Only when you define semantics for the measure as amount with currency, then only you get to see amount with currency in node. Otherwise, you don't get to see. Yeah, point is, so I get to see a total tax amount, which is actually 15%, approximately 77,000. One part of 5 is approximately 11,000 so on. So that's how you can derive tax per. But let's say my requirement is this way. My tax percentage is not always 15%. It keeps the changing out. So what I can do, I can create one input parameter which says tax percentage. I'll say IP underscore tax. Tax, and let's say tax label as tax percentage, something like this. And I will go with, I want to give static list where user can choose the percentages. Static list, multiple in, no, single entry it will be, and it's going to be a decimal. Length is 13 and 3, and I'll add, it's going to be what, something like say 13, or I'll say 0.13 is one option. Another option where percentage could be 0.14, 0.14, or it could be 0.15. 0.15 done. Yeah. Now say okay. Now user will make, and I'll make this mandatory because without this my calculation will not work out. Now I'll go to my calculation. I'll say instead of using this fixed value as 15 or this, I'll use input parameters. So like this, I can make my calculations also dynamic. So now when I run the report, you get to say static list. I would go with say 13%. Then now you get to see tax amount. 15% was 11,000 something, and so 30% is 10,000. This is how you can basically have the calculate columns also made dynamic. Okay, I'm going to, this is about calculate keywords, and still there's some counters and all this. We'll see tomorrow. So I'll stop the class now and we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, thank you.